Hello, good morning. We're talking about growing mushrooms. And my boss said it was casual Saturday, so we're sitting in my living room with coffee. It's me. I'm my boss. Okay. So, mushroom growing, very fun. Lots of steps. Fairly steep learning curve, but if we break it down into little manageable pieces, it's fun and easy to pick up. Today I want to talk about agar plates or petri dishes specific for the use of growing mushrooms. They look like this. I have fairly small ones because you don't really need the big, huge ones, and these ship better because I ship them out of my house, right? What problem do these solve? Why would a person want these, right? Okay, so when working with mushrooms, think about the whole life cycle of a mushroom. We start with spores. The spores germinate, right? They turn into mycelium. That mycelium turns into primordia. That's like when the little liquidy bits turn into a spongy bit, if you will. And then from there, you've got fruits. Those fruits release spores, and then it just starts all over again. Spores, mycelium, primordia, fruit. Spores, mycelium, primordia, fruit. And it just keeps going around and around and around. This is an interesting way to kind of capture that cycle. Let's say you go out in the woods and you find a really spectacular lion's mane, right? You find some type of mushroom that you really want to grow and it's out in the wild and you want to capture that. You want to grow that at home. You want to get your own wild genetics. Cool, love you for it. This is a really good way to do it. If you've got spores from a wild mushroom, you can take those spores, put it on here, and it will grow out into mycelium, okay? You can take a liquid culture, which kind of looks like an aloe vera drink, but it's got mushrooms in it. um, it's chunky. It's like the pulp in orange juice. You can put that mycelium floating in solution on here to grow it out and make it fairly shelf stable. You can take that mushroom, that whole mushroom, open up the inside of it, get a real clean tissue sample right from the middle of the cap or the stipe, the stem, put it on here. It will grow out. And then that grow out, which looks a lot like this. See how that looks white? This is the back of it. That is the basis for almost all home cultivation. You take this little fluff, this is mycelium, and you grow from that. So it is a way to make sure that whatever you're growing is clean, how fast it grows, how resilient it is. And you can sit it on a shelf and it stays there for, 6 months to a year. This one, fun fact, is Black Pearl King. This is the one that I am featuring this month. This plate started off this color. Anytime you work specifically with the color blue, it seems, mycelium likes to soak it up. It doesn't turn the mycelium blue. It just eats the blue color, and I think that's funny. But anyway, yeah, you can make these at home. You can buy them pre-made. If you decide to make them yourself, and I can show you the recipe if you're into it, there is some special procedures to make sure that when you make these, they're sterile, okay? Any small contamination, some little something floating in the air, bacteria, yeast, whatever, if your air quality is not particularly good, there's special things that you will have to do to make these in bulk with a successful rate. You want to ruin these the least as possible because they're a little expensive to make. But yeah, these are good for jump starting spores. If somebody hands you spores, you're like, hey, I don't know what to do with this. Put them on here, okay? If you have a liquid culture and you're like, that looks a little suspicious, you can put it on here and see if it's good and healthy. If you've got a mushroom, they're like, hey, look at this thing I found, and you want to try it, put it on here. That's what they are for. And actually, I like to, I make like 100 of these at a time, right? I've got blue. Look at this. I've got this kind of light purple. I'm keeping this one for myself. This is the dark purple that it was supposed to be. Hello, me. I've got pink. I tried to make a red. It turned into this. I guess that's orange. That feels orange. Pink. I don't know. I'm just talking about this one. Anyway, okay. Bye, guys.